All right, here with Fred Simon, head coach of the Bluefield Beavers. Freddie, you talked about afterwards, even in August, you're like, I feel like we might have a really good team, but we'll see how it goes. And now here you are, you're practicing on the week that everyone wants to be practicing on. I want to start off with your super sophomores. You knew in middle school they were super talented, but you've seen this story before. It's harder to adapt to the high school level. You had a couple in Jeremiah and Pax that were ineligible, and now they're eligible, and they've become, in my opinion, I feel like they're first team All-State locks, just the impact that they've had. Have you ever had a group that was this good, this young? I know that the 04 team, like those seniors, they played in the state title game, but this, it feels like it'd be hard to imagine a sophomore group this good.
They're good, and they work hard, and they have a good time, and they listen. So be hard to pick a different group right now, but for now, yeah, they are.
Was there a point, and obviously you've seen it all for 40 years, where you felt, hey, this might be a team that could actually contend for a title?
Saw in the weight room how they worked and how they kept trying to get better. There wasn't any lazy ones there. Just hoped that they would mature, because you know how youth is. You don't know how they're going to respond in tough situations in games. And we took some licks a little bit early, learned some lessons, kept getting better. So I thought we could be a playoff contender team. But as the season went on, and after Independence beat us and we rolled off 5 in a row, felt like we had a chance.
Is there something that stands out as to why they play above their age? Because, I mean, we even say, like, Pax and Jeremiah are sophomores, but this is their first year of high school ball.
Can't describe. It's hard. I don't know. I mean, there's no formula. I don't. They just want to do it, and to me, if you want to do it, you'll find a way to do
it. From a mentality standpoint and from a maturity standpoint, they've handled the playoffs extremely well. 51 points per game, and you steamrolled teams. Thought the semifinal would be competitive, but before you knew it, they came out, they landed the first punch, and they just kept punching and punching and punching. It was never a 3-score game. Where you talked about the maturity, but do you feel like you see that every day with them, even though they are a young group?
Well, for now, you just got to take in stride, and I have. There's no secret formula right now. We know what we got to do, and hopefully we'll do it. But just let them go and let them practice like they've been practicing, and let's see what happens on Saturday.
You know how state title games are; anything can happen in them. But do you get a sense of confidence with this group because of how they've handled things up to this point?
So far, I have, yeah, and they'll have to show me otherwise. But again, like you said, you get in a state title game, anything can happen. But I feel good about how they prepare themselves, and look forward to Saturday and see what they could do.
Gotcha. Now, you guys have played Frankfort. It's very rare you get to play a team 2 years in a row. I thought that they were probably better last year. They graduated so many kids, but they're also still really good this year. You guys were the only team that, played a competitive game with them. Everyone looks at their schedule, 28-7. That was the closest game that they played all year long. Can you talk to me about what your game plan was going into that game, and what do you feel like you can replicate going into Saturday?
Well, we looked at them and said, we've got an idea about the wing tee. Hopefully we can play a little better than how we've played the week before. And we did okay, but like I said, they're well prepared and well coached. And but I thought our kids played hard. We just didn't. When we got a break, we didn't capitalize on it, and I think that hurt us.
Yeah, so for some of these kids, Max is also, he played in that game and he started. Or do you think are some of the things that he can take away from that game and apply to this one?
I think, when you've played in a game like that, you've got experience and it can't hurt.
Gotcha. Now, defensively, what do you see from them? Because they've also held some really good teams in check. We talk about their offense, but they're really a three-phase team. I go to the Hoover game, I watched that. They got 10 points off special teams returns alone, and they held a good Hoover offense down for portions of the game. And I think your offense is comparable to Hoover's in your personnel and what you guys like to do stylistically. So I just talk about Frankfort's defense and the challenges they pose.
Very impressed with them. They hustle to the ball. They're physical, and like you said, they're not giving up very many points. And they're going to play their guts out on Saturday, doing their best to stop us. And they've done a very good job against the run, done a good job against the pass. So it's going to be a nice challenge for us to try to get it in the end zone.
Now, you guys have coached in more state championships than most people will ever see. What do you feel like as a coach you can lean on to help this group? I know when it comes down to when you've played in that so many, anything can happen. It's down to a flip of the ball or which way it bounces. What do you feel like you can do to help this young team?
Well, I've had experience along with my son. We've had experience in these games, and hopefully the experience and the wisdom will help us out.
But what does it mean to you to be going back to Charleston for this game? Because, it's a 50-year anniversary of you guys celebrated the 1975 team to start the year. I know that was a team that's special. You were telling me about them and how you liked watching them. You used to say that you got them ready because you banged up on them so much. And then you're like, yeah, you got them ready.
You can ask someone. I hope they'll back me up, but I don't know.
But, also the last time you played for a state championship in Charleston, 1984, you were an assistant on that team and you won. I mean, just talk to me about what it means, the historical aspect of going back to Laidley.
There's so many memories I have here in Bluefield. Again, I started, went to school here, went to the elementary and the middle school stuff, which was junior high then and the high school, and then taught at a junior high here. I've never left Bluefield, and there's so many great people that I've grown up with and got to know that were older and younger than me, and it just means so much to me to be part of that, because everybody that I know loves Bluefield football, and they're so happy for us to be in the finals. They text you, they call you, and I'm not on the internet stuff and the Facebook and all that, but I know everybody's just very happy with the tradition we have, and I don't think anybody in the state can compare where you've won a state title in all the decades since the 50s. 59 was the first, and then 60, 70, 80, 90, 2000, 10-ish to 17, and so forth. So I'm very fortunate to have had the life I've had so far. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. It's been so much fun for me. Now, it hadn't always been fun, but again, I know where my place is, and I feel blessed to have been able to coach here and go through the changes that we've had so far.
Yeah. Now, I've asked you this question before, which one's your favorite? And you're like, they're all special in different ways. But 84, I think that was your first championship ever as a player or a coach. You were an assistant on that team. Does that make going back to Laidley even more special for you?
I've always loved Laidley Field. Charleston's been neat. I know that, being there in 84, and we played a tough schedule. And to beat Barbersville, who was a big, strong team, and the way Coach Shamar came up with this game plan was just unbelievable. And to pull that victory off was great. And we beat a heck of a Woodrow Wilson team in the first round, so that team was special too. So you get into all that. And a lot of those guys I coached in junior high, so it was neat to be part of that.
Any chance you might pull out some plays from that 1984 team and, just to run it for memory's sake? Obviously, you want to run the best plays that you can, but is there anything that you might, an ode to that 84 title game? Hey, I know in the game planning you're trying to get the best you can, but is there anything, hey, let's, maybe we get something out of this?
We'll have to talk to the OG about that, my son Fritz. So I won't get involved in that.
Absolutely, Coach Simon. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.